Welcome to our YouTube channel, Life Lessons by Unica, where we reward our struggles and celebrate our wins. Thank you for stopping by. On this channel, we get raw and real, okay? So this would not be edited, okay? All right, so as you saw in the subheading, this particular video is about my transition from raw meat and potato, fast food, to vegan, the vegan lifestyle. Of course, now I am raw vegan, but I'm going to give you the synopsis just from my meat and potato eating to my vegan eating and why I chose to do so. Um, in life, as we discuss these struggles, sometimes we have to make certain decisions because I want to let you all know that I'm not an animal activist. I am not a person that's against eating meat. I'm not a person that's against eating kind of pork or poultry. But I had to choose life for myself, people. You see, here we go. I'm going to let y'all know my real story here. Raw, uncut. And if any one of you all are going through anything or you resonate with anything that you see or you hear that I had gone through in my struggles in my early 20s, then please comment down below. Let us know about your story too if you can resonate. Like, subscribe, let us know about it. All right, so let's get started. So let me tell you, in my early 20s, after I had my first child, and I wasn't even 25 yet, after I had my first child, I started experiencing tightness of the chest. And many of you all may know this to be something called AKA angina. Okay? Now, along with that, I had high cholesterol, which I did not know. Okay? How many of us can understand that? We feel healthy. I never was overweight. Okay? But we're walking around. We have plenty of energy. I could do anything. I never had to take a lot of visits to the doctor, right? But I'm walking around with high cholesterol and did not know it, people. Did not know it. Until one day when I was working downtown, and in the lobby area they had a area where they were taking cholesterol tests, and I was like, okay, let me go ahead on and get my cholesterol checked. So the lady took the test and she looked at me and said, wait, let me do this one more time, let me do this again, right? So she take it again, and she said, girl, take this paper. Now it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and she tell me, girl, take this paper with you, and you need to go to the doctor right now, right? Now, I'm a kind of person that I need some time to process. And if y'all feel with me on that one, I'm not always the first person that react, okay, to what you're telling me. I got to process what you're saying, okay? So I'm processing. It took me 6 months. Now, I'm not telling y'all to wait 6 months, okay? It took me 6 months to go to the doctor. But in the meantime, I was researching cholesterol, what cholesterol is, and what are some things that I could do. Now, again, I am not a doctor. I'm not a doctor of natural medicine, and I'm not a doctor of medical medicine. So what I'm telling you all is my story. So anything that you all do based on this video, please check with your doctor first, all right? But let me just get back to my story. So I learned in my studies that if you take in fiber foods, then it can pull a lot of the fat out of your body. So while I'm waiting these 6 months, I do research on fiber foods and start to incorporate those into my diet. Okay? That's what I did. All right? Now, when I incorporated it, I started exchanging white rice for brown rice. I started exchanging anything that was had white flour. I would use whole grain flour. All right. Anything that dealt with refined sugar, I would try to use things like unrefined sugar, like turbinado sugar. Right. So these were things, or raw honey. These were things that I was doing to replace my eating. All right. So when I finally went to the doctor, all right, finally went to the doctor. Before I had not ate those things yet. I had just was doing research on taking in fiber. Let me just make that clear. I hadn't started making the changes yet. Okay. So when I went to the doctor in 6 months, the doctor told me that my cholesterol was at 368. And I was not overweight, people. I was not overweight. I was walking around like a ticking time bomb. And have any of you all been through that? Any of y'all? I mean, tell me about it in the comment. Have any of you all been walking around like a time bomb, not overweight, feeling really okay? All right? But I had high cholesterol. Didn't know it. All right? So again, now as I'm taking this in, now my doctor wants to give me a little pill to be able to take. All right? Which I was afraid of. All right? Now I'm not going to tell you why I was afraid, but I was afraid. Okay? Now as time go on, at this time my daughter is 4. I'm having severe tightness of the chest. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I didn't know if I was going to see her people. And can y'all feel what I'm saying? I forgot to tell you at the time I was a single parent. I did not know whether or not, and I'm coming up close, I did not know whether I would see my daughter to see 18 years of age, and she's 4. I did not know. So I dropped to my knees and asked, I don't know who you all serve, but I asked my grand creator to please give me direction, give me guidance, help me to know the way in which I should go. Direct me and help me to know what's going on with my body. I did not know. But people, at the same time, I was eating a lot of fast food. I was not checking about any fiber. I was just eating what I enjoyed. You know, I was raised up eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the fast food restaurants on the go. You know, and I wasn't trying to stop eating those things. I love my chitlins. I love my steaks. I love my burgers, my fish subs, my fries, you know. I love my soul food too. It was a lot of things I enjoyed. You know, I really did. And I wasn't ready to stop that. Nor had anybody told me to. Okay? Because when you looked at me at the time, I did not look like I was overweight. Okay? So, but I'm feeling chest pains. I'm feeling tightness of the chest. Okay? Guess what? I go to the doctor. They tell me they don't see anything. They did not see anything. My oxygen seemed fine to them. Everything seemed fine. So I'm going to fast forward now, 4 more years later. At this point, I am dating. Okay? I'm dating. And while I'm at this point, see, I had gone in the 90s. Let me just let you all know. In the 90s, starting in the early, or should I say the late 80s, let me back up. I had started going in the late 80s. I had started going from whole milk to 2%, 2% to 1%, 1% to skim. But I did that because my father was a diabetic. And I told myself that I did not want to be told what I had to eat when I get 40. You see, but I wanted to choose what I wanted to eat. Now that was what I had started earlier, not because I had chest pains, but that was early in the 80s. That's preliminary, right? So now in the 90s, right, the beginning 90s, you know, I'm still eating chitlins, I'm still eating steak, right? Right? But when I was informed back to when I told you all that my cholesterol was high, at this point, I had to stop eating the pork. I stopped eating the meat. And I said, okay, I'll just do poultry, fish, seafood, things like that. Because growing up, I love shrimp, love crabs, you know, love me some chicken. You know, y'all remember that mumbo chicken? Y'all remember mumbo chicken? That was my favorite. Mumbo chicken? Please. That was my favorite. Come on, comment down below if mumbo chicken was your favorite. That was my favorite. Okay? However, so one day I'm in the doctor's office and they had an article on the table. Because at this point, I'm now having to go back and forth to the doctor. So I'm in the doctor's office. They had an article on the table about cholesterol. So let me pick this up. And I'm reading and I'm looking. Girl, you know what? Not just girl, but gents, gentlemen, ladies, all you all out there. Do you know what I read? I read that cholesterol was also in chicken. Girl, y'all know how much I told y'all I like mumbo chicken? Gents, ladies, y'all know how much I told you I like mumbo chicken. I read that cholesterol was in mumbo chicken. Can you imagine how upset I was? I said, oh man, I gotta stop eating chicken too. I gotta stop eating chicken too. Man, I already gave up my chitlins and my steaks and my burgers, and now you're trying to tell me I gotta give up chicken too. Oh man. So now let's go back. Fast forward back to when I was dating. Okay, so at this point, because I had to give up chicken too, and turkey and anything poultry because it has cholesterol, I'm now down to just eating salmon. So now on my date with the hubby, not hubby, he was my fiance at the time. So if you know, salmon has good fat, okay, has good fat, but it has something called essential fatty acids that are good for our body, right? But when you are clogged, when your system is clogged, which at the time I didn't know, then you're going to have problems. So I'm at dinner with my fiance getting ready to get married, now husband, and I order me some good old salmon. Now when I go to eat the salmon, people, what happens is I start getting that tightness of the chest again. Can you feel me? It's like I can't have no steak. I couldn't have no chilies. I can't have no poultry. None of my fried foods. And this is not what the doctor is telling me. No, the medical doctor didn't tell me that. My body told me that. My body is speaking to me. I'm having tightness of the chest. It's talking to me. So now that I'm down to eating salmon, because I learned in the publication about cholesterol that I can't have that either because chicken has cholesterol, so I'm down to just eating salmon. But now when I put the salmon in my mouth, as I said before, I got tightness of the chest. Tightness of the chest. And so I say to my fiance, I said, my chest is tight. And he said, oh, yeah, it is. I said, yeah, it is. So now, fast forward to when now we are married. In September of 97, we got married. Okay? So now my body starts to experience something different. So not only we go from tightness of the chest, high cholesterol. Now my body says, because you can't figure out what's wrong with you, I'm going to let you know that you haven't found the answer yet. And I'm going to go from bad to worse. So my body decides that as I'm calmly going to work, now I'm married, as I'm calmly going to work, relaxing on the subway, that it's going to decide to feel like it wants to pass out. Like I got a lack of oxygen. It wasn't coming from here. I felt a lack of oxygen as if it was up in my head. Like I'm about to just go whoop and just pass out at any given time. Those were the symptoms that I was having. Have any of you all ever had any of these kind of symptoms? And we're talking about in my early 20s, people, up to my late 20s. At this point, I'm 29 at that point. This is what I was going through. And so I said, I get off the subway. I get on the phone, because at the time we ain't had no cell phones. We ain't had no cell phones back then. We ain't had no cell phones. I had to get off the subway, go use the pay phone, cha-ching, a quarter or a dime or 35 cents. I had to use the pay phone to call my office and let them know I could not come into work because I got to go to the doctor because I feel like I'm about to pass out. So now I call my doctor's office and I go into the office. They take an EKG. They take all of the heart tests. And they say, I'm sorry, Miss Powell. I know you want us to find something, but we don't see anything. Your oxygen level is at 100%, and we just don't see anything. We don't see anything wrong. Now, I mind you that these people knew too that my cholesterol, and no offense I'm not trying to speak against the medical industry. I'm just telling you my truth, okay? I'm not trying, the medical industry, they take your blood, they run these tests, they help me to know what was not wrong, okay? Okay? But I want to tell you that my body was talking to me. Do you all talk to me, people? Do your body give you signs that you ignoring? Do your body talk to you that maybe the medical doctor or other doctors are telling you nothing wrong with you, but your body is speaking? Is that happened to you? Is this happening to you? Folks, listen to your body. If you got to go get a second opinion, a third opinion, a fourth opinion, go do that, because your body is all you have. You can have all the money in the world, but if your body is not working for you, boo, if your body not working for you, then you can't even go out and even enjoy that money. You can't enjoy life with family. You can't enjoy the things you want to do if your body is not well. So my body was speaking to me. So this doctor says to me, I don't know what you want me to do, Unica. We've taken your EKG. We've done all the tests we could possibly run, and we don't see nothing wrong with you. Now, some of my well-meaning friends was like, well, you just got married, so you might have anxiety. Guess what? I probably do got a little bit of anxiety, feeling like I'm about to pass out. Yeah, I probably do got a little bit of anxiety because I feel like I got tightness of the chest. I probably got a little bit of anxiety because I can't eat the foods that I enjoy. My steak, my chicken, no salmon. My favorite shrimp that I couldn't have. Yeah, probably did have a little anxiety, but I'm going to tell you, truthfully, I was very calm on that subway station, on that subway, heading to work. I was actually relaxing when I felt like I was about to pass out. So guess what? It's now December the 25th, and my body said, you still haven't figured it out yet. Your doctors haven't figured it out yet, and you haven't figured it out yet. There's a problem going on. And so now we're going to go from bad to worse to absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, going to give you a major symptom that you cannot deny. So on December the 25th of 1997, I was again relaxing, laying on my bed watching TV. And all of a sudden, from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, people, you ever had that tingling feeling that you have when you sit on your hand? This was going on through my whole entire body. Tingling from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, girl. Ladies and gentlemen, and all who listening, I jumped up out that bed so fast and told my husband, please, you need to take me to the doctor immediately. So I said, call the ambulance, whatever. So we went to the doctor. Again, they find nothing. Nothing. They put the little thing on my finger. Oh, it's at 100%. The oxygen level is at 100%. There's nothing wrong with you, Unica. Mrs. Powell, there's nothing wrong with you. It's not. My body was telling me a different story. So my beloved husband was even thinking, baby, maybe it's anxiety. I said, no, baby. Something is wrong. I don't know if y'all believe in prayer, but I dropped to my knees. I prayed for answers. I didn't know if I had a vitamin deficiency. I did not know if I had a mineral deficiency. I didn't know if this was happening because I'm constipated. I did not know what in the world was going on. People, I'm 29 years old at that time. And I'm suffering from tightness of the chest, from high cholesterol, from loss of oxygen, feeling I'm about to pass out. And now I'm tingling from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, and I don't know what's going on. The medical doctors don't know what's going on. Nobody seems to know what's going on, and I feel like I'm in a world of my own, by myself. Have any of you all experienced any of this? Tell me about it in the comments. What did I do next? I told you, I prayed. I did research to find out about vitamins and deficiencies and all these things. I didn't know what's going on. But it was my grand creator who I call Jehovah that brought to my mind a friend of mine who had fainting or passing out symptoms years earlier, back in 96, 3 or 4 years earlier, I had met her. And she had these kind of symptoms. But that was brought back to my mind by my Almighty God in the heavens, who I call Jehovah. And I happened to have her phone number. So I picked up the phone, called her, and I said to her, and it's 10 o'clock at night, people. It's 10 o'clock at night. All right, I called her. But before I go to that conversation, I do want to tell you something. Remember I told you all that salmon that I put in my mouth was also giving me tightness of the chest? Well, I listened to my body. The doctors couldn't give me a story, but I listened to my body. I stopped eating salmon too. So on January the 28th of 1998, it was my body that let go of all of the meats, all of the poultry, all of the fish, and made me vegan. It was my body that I became January the 28th of 1998, where I knew no one vegan. I knew no one vegan. I didn't even know that name. I didn't even know the name vegan. I didn't know the name vegan at that time. I did not. I didn't know that name. I just knew that my body said no more pork, no more steak, no more chicken, no more poultry, no more salmon, no more fish, no my favorite shrimp or my crabs. My body took me off of those things. Now, your body may not take you off those things. And in no way am I telling you to do what I did. But my body created in me what I know today to be vegan on January the 28th of 1998. But let me tell you about my story, because I told you I did not know what was wrong with me, and I still didn't know what was wrong with me. On January 28th, 1990, I did not know what was wrong with me. I told y'all that I dropped to my knees, and I was praying. And my grand creator that I called Jehovah brought to my mind about my friend I told y'all about that I called in the first week of February of 1998. 10 o'clock at night, I called her. And I said to her, I remember that when you used to have fainting symptoms, and I would just call on to see what you did to help yourself, because you still here. You still here. I didn't know if I was going to have a stroke. I didn't know what was going on. Because my own doctor told me that if I didn't take that little pill, I can run the risk of falling out and having a stroke at any given time. Okay? That's what my doctor told me. All right? So now, fast forward to February of 1998. She tells me, my friend, who my grand creator Jehovah brought to my mind, and this is not a religious channel, but I'm just giving y'all a true testimony of what happened to me. She said to me, she said, I don't know about you, Unika. She said, but I went the natural way. And I'm like, well, what's that? Well, what you mean by that? What's a natural way? Where'd you go? What you do? So she said, I went to a doctor of natural medicine. And I said, well, where is she? Where is this doctor of natural medicine? Talk to me. Help me out with this. So she gave me her name, her address. Guess what, people? The doctor of natural medicine was in my same neighborhood, and I didn't even know it. And I said, this is a blessing from Jehovah, I said to her. And she said, well, if it is a blessing from Jehovah, she said, you call her right now. Now, isn't that a true friend? She said, if that is a blessing from Jehovah, you call her right now. And I picked up that phone. I got off the phone with my dear friend. I picked up that phone and I called that doctor. And guess what? She answered the phone. That doctor of natural medicine answered the phone. And I'm going to give her a tag in this message because she's still working today. Her name is Gwen Dorsey. She's a natural medicine doctor with the Art of Health. I will put her contact information and link in the description, in the notes below. All right, now let's get back to the story. So I called this doctor, Dr. Dorsey, and I tell Dr. Dorsey all my symptoms. And so Dr. Dorsey said, well, do you have to go to work tomorrow? I said, not if you give me a doctor's note. And so she says, this was on a Tuesday. I remember like it was yesterday. She said, well, I'm doing some work in my office tomorrow, which would have been Wednesday. She said, but I want you to wake up in the morning and take lemon water. She said, take lemon water. Now, I'm not trying to give y'all no prescriptions, but I'm just telling y'all my story. Check with your doctor before you do any of this, but I'm giving you my story. My story. M-E, my story. Okay? So she told me, get up and take some lemon water. Okay? And she said, then I want you to come to see me on Thursday. Okay? Now, I told y'all how long I have been going through this struggle. From my mid-20s all the way to my late 20s. It's like 4 or 5 years trying to go through the doctors, trying to figure out what in the world was wrong with me. Okay? So now, come that Thursday, I think it was on the 5th of February of 1998, if I remember that correctly. She took my urine. Dr. Dorsey took my urine. She took my saliva. And do you know, in 5 minutes of me giving her my urine and my saliva, that this woman told me, she said, Unika, your liver is flooded with fats and sugars. She gave me a diagnosis in 5 minutes of taking my urine and my saliva. Now, people, not years, not months, not weeks. I had an immediate solution. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So I was like, but the liver is down here though. But I feel like I'm passing out from my head. How could it be my liver when it's down below? So girlfriend, break out. My Dr. Dorsey breaks out a chart of the human body. A chart of the human body. And she shows me a pathway. This pathway, like a plumbing pipe. It was a pathway. I don't know if that's, you call it an artery or whatever you want to call that. But it's a pathway where blood flows, okay? She said, this pathway, this line right here, it goes from your liver and it goes to your brain. She said that pathway right there that goes from your liver to your brain, she said it is flooded with fats and sugars. She said like a plumbing pipe. Y'all know when that plumbing pipe clogged up, girl, when y'all flood that plumbing pipe, you know how y'all flood that plumbing pipe up with the toilet. You know how I get backed up? Yeah, I was backed up. But this was serious. By that line being clogged from my liver to my brain, I was not getting oxygen to that part of my brain. Hence, I had symptoms of wanting to pass out. The doctors, unfortunately, could not diagnose that. They did not see that, even though they saw that I had high cholesterol, but they could not see that. But she got it in 5 minutes from checking my urine and my saliva. So I'm also going to put a post down below or a link down below for Nature Sunshine products. I'm definitely going to promote them. Nature Sunshine Products has natural medicine, natural herbs that she used to help to unclog me. What did she use? I'm going to tell you the products that she used. You see, and I'm going to put the link down below that if your doctor approves, okay, then you can go get some from yourself. Don't be just trying to self-diagnose. I didn't self-diagnose. So don't you go self-diagnose. So what my doctor gave me, my doctor, natural medicine, Gwen Dorsey, what she gave me was something called Low Clo. Low Clo is sold by Natural Medicine, by Nature Sunshine. And inside of it has something called psyllium husk. The ingredients are psyllium husk. Psyllium husk helps to grab a hold of the fat and take it out of your body. All right. She also gave me something called Live C. Live C helps to oxygenate the liver. Okay. She also gave me something called coenzyme Q10. Remember I told you about that good old heart that was having tightness of the chest? She gave me coenzyme Q10. Okay. Coenzyme Q10 adds oxygen to the heart. Oxygen to the heart. All right. All right. She also gave me something called Greens Plus, which I take to this very day. All right. Now, I just ran out though, so I'm going to have to put a link down below. So if y'all want to order that too, you'll be able to do that as well. But again, don't take anything, nothing, nada, unless you check with your doctor or you contact Gwen Dorsey with the Art of Health and let her check you all out and give you all your own diagnosis. Your diagnosis is not my diagnosis, okay? I'm just telling you about my story. Now, I do want to tell you that she gave me a book. Dr. Dorsey gave me a book called Don't Quit. Now, Don't Quit. Why did she give me a book called Don't Quit? Because not only did she give me herbal medicine, but I had to clean my body out. See, folks, you guys may focus on washing your body every day, right? But have you thought about cleaning your body on the inside? I needed to clean. I was clogged up. My arteries were clogged, causing a lack of oxygen. It made me feel like I want to pass out. You see? Causing tightness of the chest to my heart, causing problems with my liver in my 20s. Okay? So she took me off everything. I couldn't even have Cohen's. I couldn't even have my favorite Ovaltine drink. I couldn't have my favorite hot chocolate. I couldn't have, of course she kept me on the vegan diet, right? But it went further. I couldn't have no sugars. I could have oatmeal with no sugar and honey. Now, who gonna eat oatmeal with no sugar and honey? Who? Not me. So I ain't eat no oatmeal because I can't have, since I could not have sugar and I could not have honey, I was not gonna eat no plain oatmeal at the time. That's how I felt at the time. So I was only could have vegetables and fruit, and she let me have clear oil. Now, whether that was canola oil, or extra virgin olive oil, or whether that was avocado oil, it had to be clear. If I couldn't see through the oil, I couldn't have it. And that was only 1 tablespoon. Okay? Now, I had to do that for 30 days. 30 days, along with the natural medicine that she had given me from Nature's Sunshine products. Okay? Now, at the end of that 30 days, can you believe my symptoms had stopped? Can you believe when I went back to my medical doctor, the one who wanted to put me on that little pill, who also told me I would have a stroke in the event that I didn't take that pill? I went back to the doctor to get checked out medically as well. And you know what she told me? You know what that medical doctor told me? She said, whatever you're doing, girl, she said, you keep doing it. She said, whatever you are doing, keep doing it. My medical doctor told me that. So, of course, I did. So, at the end of the 30 days, my natural medicine doctor, because I had cleaned my system out. Now, I'm not saying everybody's going to be able to get clean, because there was still a lot of things I still needed to clean. I'm not saying you can get totally cleaned out in 30 days, but that's how quickly it helped me with the natural medicine and the herbs, all right, to get to the point of stop having those symptoms, okay, all right. But there was clearly more work to do because I had tons of food, bad foods I had put in my system. You see, I was on what you call that standard American diet growing up. If you abbreviate that, the acronym is SAD, that SAD diet. And I'm not telling y'all not to eat y'all standard American diet. I'm not telling you that. But I can tell you that I had to get educated. I'm not the kind of person that sees the need. That when something causes something in my system, I want to know why. What is it that caused my system to have these issues, this tightness of the chest, this high cholesterol, this loss of oxygen in my 20s when I was very active growing up? Okay? What is it about me? So guess what, folks? I started doing research. And if you know anything about the year of 1998, you'll know that no one around was vegan. There was nobody nowhere in this community that I'm living in 1998. Now, if you know somebody that was vegan at that time in your community, put it down below in the comments, because I tell you, I knew no one in my area that was vegan. So I have a very dear friend who I've known since childhood. I love her dearly. And she told me, she said, because you got to tell community, I tell people what you're doing, girl. So I told my best friend what I was doing and what was happening. So she told me, she said, Unica, she said, my daughter has a teacher, because her daughter was in the first grade at the time. She said, Mr. Ben Yehuda. Mr. Ben Yehuda, he has a vegan shop that's right there at the corner of Georgia and Columbia Road, because we're in Washington, D.C. And she said it's called Everlasting Life. Now I'm gonna put that link down below too for Everlasting Life. Shout out to Everlasting Life for helping a girl maintain her vegan diet. But anyway, so I went there. See, when you have a good friend that knows you, I tell you, I can't think of any recommendations that she's ever given me that have not worked. She knows me, and she always knows what's best for me, right? Shout out to my friend Pam. So I go to Everlasting Life, and I tell you, they make vegan food taste like soul food on steroids, folks. It was delicious. I was like, I'm back. I could have vegan ice cream. I could have vegan greens, vegan yams, vegan chicken, vegan shrimp, vegan fish. I was like, yes. I could even have my favorite drink that was called Rising Sun. Oh my goodness. I was like in vegan paradise. You guys just don't know what that's like when you have been eating for 30 days a very minimum food. I had went all the way down to a size 2. Now y'all might say, oh my goodness, you were malnourished. No, folks, when you are cleaning out your body knows what to slough off. It was pouring out all those bad foods I had taken in, and it replaced it with the good cells and the good nutrition. So I started doing homework. I was like, what can I eat? Not just, and why am I eating this food at Everlasting Life? I need to know about what's going on. So, folks, I went to the library. And I studied about cultures that I knew did not have cardiovascular issues that I knew of. So I studied about the Asian cultures' eating habits, and I studied about the Hudson Valley people. The Hudson Valley people who actually live longer, they don't have a lot of this modern technology that we have. They live, their average lifespan is about 100 or something years old. They walking up and down hills and things. And so I'm reading about these people and their lifestyle, right? But not only did I read about that, you see, I read about the body. I didn't know which, because they got the eat right for your type, and they got the all kinds of foods. Vegetarian, what's the difference between a vegetarian and a vegan and a pescatarian? All these different types of foods and vegetarian programs that you just have to figure out what works for your body and for you. Because guess what, people? I had to learn to no longer live to eat, but I had to eat to live. I could no longer live to eat, but I had to eat to live. Type that in the comment section down below. Type it in. No longer living to eat, but I'm eating to live. Choose life for yourself. I told you it was nobody around at that time that I knew of that was doing a vegan diet. My body told me what to do when I went off of all those things. And then when I went to my natural medicine doctor, and she gave me a solution. Then after those 30 days, I was able to see that I felt better. And I was like, all right. So my naturopathic doctor, love her dearly, tells me after 30 days, Yaneka, you can now eat salmon again. I said, no way. No. I'm moving forward ahead on this vegan program, and I'm going to find out what I can eat with joy. And that's when my friend told me about that everlasting life. Everlasting life, folks. Now, eating this food can't guarantee you to live forever. No. But I'm going to tell you, that was 1998. I went cooked vegan for 15 years and 8 months. During that time, I had 2 more children. 2 more children that I had naturally. 2 more children. No intervention. I had them naturally, people. Yes, I did. 2 more kids. Yes. On the vegan diet. Now people tell you, well, where do you get your protein? Well, I'm going to answer that question like this. Where the cow get his protein? And I'm not going no further than that. Where the cow get his protein? You eat the cow, or some people eat the cow. I know I used to eat the cow for protein. But where does the cow get his protein? But I'm going to tell you, neither one of my children were deficient. My daughter came out holding on to the side of the bed, and my son came out yelling. They didn't even have to spank his mind to make him unclogged. They both came out energetic. So for those of you who say, where'd you get your protein? You ask yourself where the cow get his protein, right? And you figure out what a protein is made of. One of which, do some research on 23 amino acids. That might give you a little bit of a clue. All right, now I'm going to get off that topic. All right. Now, so I went cooked vegan for 15 years and 8 months. Okay. Then my body advanced to another level. My body spoke to me again. See, my body speaks to me. It's okay, now you ready to go to another level. You've been binging on cooked vegan food. Just binging on cooked vegan food to the point where now we need you to go to another level. So in July of 2013, I got a symptom that I needed to go to another level. Okay. So in October, the beginning of October of 2013, I went fully raw vegan. Fully raw vegan, people. That means I'm eating nothing cooked. Only things to just draw the water out. And nothing over 120 degrees. Now, if you don't know, vegan is when you're not eating any animal products. Okay? No fish, no meat, no beef, no poultry, no turkey, no chicken, no pork, not their eggs, not their fat, not their cheese, right? So you are eating other things, vegetarian or plant-based things that have no sort of animals in it whatsoever. No flesh. That includes no fish. All right. Okay, that's no fish, no salmon. Okay. All right. As I told y'all earlier, I got clogged up even with salmon and had tightness of the chest even with salmon for me. For me, people. Me. Okay. Not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you about myself. All right. So my body. Are y'all listening to y'all? Hold up. Y'all tell me in the comments. Are y'all listening to y'all body? Are you listening to your body? Is your body giving you symptoms? My body now let me know, even though I was vegan, cooked vegan for 15 years and 8 months, it was ready to do something advanced. So I went raw vegan. And now I'm going to tell you, I did not tell myself that I was going to stay raw vegan. I said, I'm going to do one day at a time. Because I told y'all. Did y'all text it? Did y'all comment down below? That we are no longer living to eat, but we are eating to live. Hey, we're eating to live. No longer living to eat, but we are eating to live. Woo. Comment that down below in the comment section. All right. So now, October of 2013. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I went to another natural medicine doctor 1 week after I went raw vegan. This is another person that I knew. Not that I'm not still going to Gwen. I still go to Gwen too. But I went to go to her too. I want to see what she also does, right? So this other doctor I went to, and she's natural medicine also. She took some tests. And in the test that she took, it was interesting. I told you I was binging on cooked vegan food. Because you can binge on cooked vegan food. And I'm going to tell you, it's very important that if you are vegan, that you eat, your plate should be looking 80-20 or 90-10. Okay? If you're, and what do I mean by that? That's 80 to 90% of alkaline foods. Okay? We'll talk later about alkaline foods in another video. Okay? But 80 to 90% alkaline foods. Okay? And 10 to 20% of acid foods. Because just like the sea and the ocean, we also have a pH balance in our body, okay? So if you are eating 80 to 90% acid foods and only 10 to 20% alkaline foods, then did you know that you can gain weight even being vegan? You can overly eat pasta. You can overly eat rice. You can overly eat all of these fun foods that vegans have. You got to eat. Your plate needs to look 80 to 90% alkaline and 10 to 20% acid. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just giving you my story. I researched things for 20 years or more, but I'm just giving you my story, letting you know what I've learned all these years of studying. I've now been vegan. This January, on the 28th, it will be 27 years that I would have been vegan. Come January the 28th of 2025. Today is January the 5th, I believe. It's January the 5th, okay, of 2025. On January the 28th of 2025, it would have been 27 years that I've been vegan. So you can imagine I've learned some things, all right? You can imagine that I have learned some things. But again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not your doctor. I'm not a doctor of natural medicine, but I have learned a lot of things. And I've had my own story that I'm telling you all. Okay? So when you eat your food, so to avoid gaining weight, being vegan, you do not want to eat 80% and 90% of acid foods and 10-20% alkaline. You want it to be 80 to 90% alkaline foods, or your greens, okay? Your green things, your vegetables, all right? Your acid food. You look it up. Look up what's acid, what's alkaline, okay? You look it up, right? But you want your plate to be full of vegetables. You want it to be 80 to 90% vegetables, 10 to 20% of the other acid foods. That might be your potatoes are acid foods. That might be your rice are acid foods. Your oatmeals, your rice. Those are acid foods. Your potatoes, those things are acid foods, right? Your noodles, acid foods, okay? Your meats are acid foods. Your chicken, your poultry, your fish, they're acid foods. Your pork, acid food. And what did I say? 10 to 20% acid food, 80 to 90% alkaline, okay? To avoid gaining weight and getting unbalanced. You don't want to be overly acid. You don't want to have an overly acid system. Overly acid system creates diseases, okay? You want to be energetic. You want to have life. You want to eat live foods. Life foods. Foods that help you have energy. You not clog you up, right? I had to learn the hard way. All right? I had to learn the hard way, right? Now back to my story. So October, so when I'm in this second doctor's office, who's a natural medicine doctor also, she tells me, and again, it's only been a week that I've been raw vegan at that time. This was in October of 2013. All right? A week after I went raw vegan. I told you my body gave me some symptoms that I needed to advance to a different higher tier. Okay? So she tells me, she says, Unica, she says, I see a cancer cell in your body. Now, my father died from diabetes complications. He also had high blood pressure. And that's in another story. I'm going to be getting to his story. Another story. Another YouTube video. And my mother, she died at 46 from cervical, and that went to uterus. The uterine and the cervical cancer, what she died from. All right. So now here I am. After my mother died, I had gotten a test just to see if I'm good, and I was good, right? So, but now henceforth, my mother died in 2000 and let me get this right. My father died in 88. My mother died in 91. Okay, so she died in 91. So now we are way advanced here to 2013. Then I'm sitting down with this natural medicine doctor, and she tells me I see cancer cells in your system. Okay, maybe that's why my body decided to let me know that it wants to go to another level. I didn't even know that, right? That's cool, because remember I told y'all I had just went raw vegan. I had just went raw vegan. Okay. So when I went raw vegan, what happened? What happened? Well, let me tell you. It remained to be seen. It remained to be seen. Because I really didn't know if the raw vegan diet was going to help me, with what she saw as a cancer cell or whatever that was, right? So here I am, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2020, 2025. It has now been, I want to say, what is that? 12 years. This October will be 12 years that I have been on the raw vegan diet. No sign of cancer. Now, I can tell you that when I went on the raw vegan diet, it took me 8 months to detox. So even though I had been on the cooked vegan diet for 15 years and 8 months, it still took me 8 months to detox on the raw vegan diet. But I tell you, I felt the release when it happened. I felt the energy. I can't explain it to you. It's like chocolate. You never know how good it is unless you have it for yourself. I could not explain that feeling that I had when I released that extra clogged up stuff that was in my system by now being on that raw vegan diet for 8 months at that time. But when I released and when it pushed through, because I still had to detox. You see. So this is my story on how I went from that meat and potato or the standard American diet to the raw vegan or the vegan diet. And for me, it's not a diet. It's a way of life. Because I chose to no longer live to eat, but to now eat to live. And I can tell you the energy that it gives, the vitality that it gives. You know, now with me being middle-aged, senior, I honestly have more energy, and I am on no medicine, period. I only do my natural herbs. As I told y'all before, that I'm going to put the link in the description about the Nature Sunshine products. They are excellent, but please, please don't try any of this unless you see your own medical doctor, or you check the link out below and go see Gwen Dorsey with The Art of Health, who's a natural medicine doctor. So you choose what's good for you. But this is my story. So what was the lesson that I've learned? What was the lesson that I've learned, right? That one lesson that I learned is that you really have to get a second, sometimes a third opinion. I mean, really. I mean, the doctors do the best that they can, and your friends and family are well-meaning, but you got to get a second and third opinion. If your body is saying something to you and your body is giving you symptoms about things, you got to get a second and third opinion. Do research. Get knowledgeable about what's going on with your body. You know, sometimes your body's telling you things, you don't know what's going on, but your body's trying to tell you, research. You're not a doctor, no, you're not, but get educated, find out what's going on. Like I said, call a second doctor, a third doctor, a fourth doctor, you know, check some things out so you yourself can be able to find out what's best for you. What is your body saying to you? What is the message that's being stated to you that your body's trying to tell you? You see, what's going on, right? So the second life lesson that I learned is that just because we don't know about a certain thing, don't mean we can't learn about it, and don't mean it's never too late. You see, for me, as I told y'all, I was in my mid-20s and late 20s, pushing 30 before I actually got an understanding as to what was going on with my body. You see, it's not too late. Even though I had been plugging junk food in my system for almost 30 years, you see, it's not too late. You see, it's not too late. Any step that you make in the right direction, you see, you have to reward that. I told you that we believe in rewarding the struggle and celebrating our wins. When I went 30 days, I rewarded that. When I went 1 second, I rewarded that. When I went 1 week eating the right kind of foods, I gave myself a reward. Even if it was only me championing it, I gave myself a reward. I felt good about that. So if you go 1 second towards your goal, reward that. Reward that. You see, reward those things, right? And what is the third lesson that I learned? That sometimes you got to quiet out the noise, right? You know, all the noise with where you're going to get your protein and, you know, all these other things that you hear, you know, in your circle, or just simply, you know, otherwise from your doctors, all the people who love you, you know, you're going to have noise, okay? But if your body is giving you a message, are you listening? Are you taking the time to do research? I'm not trying in any way to badmouth any medical doctors, any whatsoever. But I have learned that a lot of medical doctors are not taught natural medicine in their field of study. Okay? So I can't expect them to know that. And it's okay, because I go to them with the things that I need them to do, right? You see, so it's not a lesson unless you've learned from it. See, all the lessons that I learned through this pathway has helped me to keep going. Keep going. It has now been 27 years that I've been vegan, and I don't look back. I can sit at a table. People can be eating steak. They can be eating barbecue ribs. They can be anything they want. I do not shun them. Don't do that to people. As I mentioned to you before, I'm not an animal activist, right? And I'm not going to shun anybody from the good foods or the foods that they feel is for them. Nor am I going to tell them that they're doing anything wrong, right? This is just what my body told me that I had to do, right? So if this is of any benefit to you, like it, share it, and subscribe, all right? Like it, share it, and subscribe, right? Because there are many life lessons that we all can learn. You see, a lot of life lessons that we all can learn. And on this channel, we reward our struggles and we celebrate our wins. So tell me about your struggles. And even if there's small wins, put them down and let us cheer you on. Put them down there in the comments. Let us cheer you on, okay? All right, so thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video.